You know the drill. Good evening, my friends. Welcome back to yet another tutorial here on this very lovely Thursday evening. So today we are tying Pattegrisen, but not in the original way. This is more like a cheaper version. Some of you guys have been asking me about that for quite some time, so I figured why not make that video today. So instead of using the normal spay feathers, we will be using some craft fur in the traditional salmon pink color. So that's basically about it. I'll talk you through the steps as usual. And of course you can go crazy with this one on the colors, because craft fur doesn't cost very much and it comes in a lot more colors than spay feathers do. So let's jump down to the vise here and tie out this cheaper version of Pattegrisen. So the hook I've chosen for this job is the NS 156 from Eric's Hooks, which is a really good hook. The hooking capabilities is really good on this one. It's one of my favorites, and it's also, if you can call it pretty, this is the prettiest hook in their entire lineup if you ask me. So if you know Pattegrisen, it is probably one of the most famous flies in the entire world. Made famous by Claus Eriksen. And this fly has caught thousands of fish all over the world, so trust me when I say that this is one of those flies you got to have in your fly box. I actually have a kind of a love-hate relationship with this fly, because I love it because it's so damn good. I hate it because it wasn't me who invented it, so can't really hate on that. So what I did there was to tie in mallard feather. For some people call it mouth parts, but I have never seen the mouth parts, especially not this long on a shrimp. So in my case here, it is to support the soft craft fur in front here, so it doesn't tangle all too much up around the hook there when you throw it. Okay, so next up you want to make a dubbing loop. The only difference to this fly and the original is that this is probably a little bit more time consuming, because you need to make some false hackles with this craft fur, which I'll be showing you now. Where is my zero clamp? There. Let me see if I can demonstrate that here. So craft fur, if you haven't seen it, comes on these mats, really big ones. There are for a lot of flies here. So the trick here is to plug out just a tiny amount like this. It is obviously much easier to do this on the table, but the things I do for you guys. Trim that off. What you're left with, kind of want to plug out the under fur. This is no real fur, but it does have some shorter fibers in there, so those you want to plug out to really get a You want a really sparse bundle here. So once you're happy with that, go ahead and put that into your dubbing loop. I'm just realizing it was totally unnecessary to use that material clamp for this because I just put it in with my fingers anyways. You get the picture, I hope. So you want to spread this out in your dubbing loop, kind of like this, and then very carefully, by holding that loop tight, trim off those longer ends there. I don't want those. And do this as close to the loop as you dare, okay? That will leave you with a much cleaner looking fly. So spin that up. And I lost a few there, but that doesn't matter for this fly. I kind of put in a little bit too many, just in case, because you really don't need much of this. Right, so let me get a material clamp on that. Cut that off. Double it over on itself like this. Don't say it. And then just start turning this as you would with a spay haggle. And the trick here is really to don't overdo it with the craft fur. You can if you want, but it will just give you a really clumsy fly, and you want it nice and transparent. So cut off the rest of the dubbing loop there. So look at this. Pretty good. And then you want to grab these and tie down on top of that and kind of pull them upwards like this. So they will lie flat almost on the top half of the hook, so that mallet there can support it. And you might be thinking, why the H would you put it into a dubbing loop if you want it to be on top of the hook? And the reason for that is that this is much tighter secured around the hook rather than if you just put a bunch on top and tie it down. And I definitely want my flies to last longer than just 1 or 2 fish. So next up is some Supreme hair, 2 strands, which we will be doubling over on themselves. So just put those on the thread there. Now these are really hard to see, but they will help to stabilize the fly in the water just a tiny bit. So just trim those off. Like that. And then dubbing on there as a base layer for my shrimp eyes. So let's get a good old lump on here. There. Brush that out. What I'm using here is Xenius laser dub in fluorescent hot orange. So if you light on this fly with your UV lamp, it will really light up. I think I need a little bit more there. Like that, and then just kind of pull these fibers forwards, tie down on top of that as well. So, like that. As you guys know, I like to use a little bit more time on the head of my shrimp flies, because that is in the end that is the thing that will make it look like a shrimp, if you ask me. So let's get some eyes on this one. The ones I have here are some I've made myself. You can of course use the easy shrimp eyes or whatever you want. I just think they are way too big most of the time. This hook is a size 6, and I just think that the easy shrimp eyes are way too big for a small fly like this, or a small hook. So make sure the eyes are aligned like that. It even looks crooked a little bit. But it's not. That's weird. Okay. We'll trim that off, which you don't need. Nice and secure. Just for a little bit of extra safety, let's get some good old Saba cap on there. That. That's it. And in that time, just prepare another bunch here. And again, you don't need that much. This, and then to get this underfur out, you want to grab the bunch a little bit further up, and then just pull this, and basically every fiber that is shorter than from the point where you're pinching this, you can pull those out very easy. So So if you pinch this together, you can see how much it really is. So this is maybe even too much, but it's better to put a little bit too much in your dubbing loop and then just cut off the excess than to put in way too little. So just put that down there. This is dry almost. Let's get a rib in there. Oh. Okay. I'll take that as a sign. And don't worry, this is my first glass this evening. I haven't gone all too crazy with it today. Get that rib in all the way up to the tying point there where you put in the ice. Get that under control here. And if you want, you can double this rib back over on itself, and that way sorry, it won't be going anywhere. So let's get some wow. Let's get some dubbing on the hook here. Just a tiny layer. So we have a good amount of dubbing to brush out afterwards. Just like that. And at this point, I should have made this dubbing loop before I put on that dubbing, but that's the beauty of doing the dubbing trip from not the dubbing trip, the dubbing tip when you do it from the hook eye and up as a small base layer before you do anything else. Let me get that out of the way there. Cover that up. Nobody will notice, at least out on the water. You guys just noticed. And here you want it nice and chunky up in front. And then just slightly taper that out as you move your way back towards the hook eye. So you get a nice shrimp-like silhouette in the water. Like that. Leave a little space here in the back for the whip finish and all that stuff. And then let's get that dubbing loop out. Get that craft for it. And then kind of want to measure this. I don't want it longer than the tail. the shrimp, or which in this case will be the head, but I don't want them to be longer than the longest fibers, which is here. So just trim this a little bit. I'll put that into my loop. And this you really want to spread out over like, I don't know, 5 to 7 centimeters. This might even be easier with your dubbing needle. Like that. Now comes the hardest part, which is to trim this as close to that core of the dubbing loop as you dare. Not too close, because it will all fall out and you have to start all over, which is annoying. So take your time. Spin that up. And then just get all these trapped hairs. Tease those back out. And that's what I meant. This fly is a lot more time consuming than the original. It fishes just as well. It is a lot cheaper to do, to make. And sometimes these spay feathers are really hard to come by because they are so popular, at least here in Scandinavia, because of Klaus. So thanks for that. Alright, so same drill here. Double these over. And just want to work your way down through fly here, with not with touching turns, but open turns, like this. Tie that off, double loop. Off. Now this is looking really messy, but we will get that under control really fast. So take your dubbing brush and just brush this fly on the top and a little bit down on the sides, so you kind of give this fly kind of like a bald spot on top here, like if you would comb your hair out to the sides like this. Nobody does that anymore, but they used to. Like that, so it's kind of hard to see, but the fly is pretty much flat on top here. Then I want to grab some sculpting flash fiber in a pink color here in this case. Cut off a spar sponge, double it back over on itself like this, and then just trim that, which leaves you with double the amount. It's a good way to not to waste your material and your money. So, and a little trick here I like to do is to tie this in reverse. Catch that on top, 2 or 3 turns, and then just pull this back. Like that. Tighten it up a little bit. You could even trim this a little bit to really make that nice and clean back there. Like that. So that's one thing I like to do. I mentioned it in my video of the original a long time ago. I like to do it this way. Originally you would just put this on top, tie it off, but it leaves you kind of with a lumpy finish here, and it is also very hard to get a decent whip finish onto these slippery fibers. So I like to tie it in reverse, and that way it is also very secure. And as you can see, you could make a really nice finish here on the fly, like that. So let's get the rib. And then just work our way through all this mess. The first turn is always the hardest, so concentrate a little bit on that, and you should be fine for the rest. Now, I am very sorry for that small break there. My cameras decided to not to record anymore because there is a limit on how long they can record. So what you guys missed is I tied off the rib in the back there, and wanted to say that the good part about leaving a little bit of space, as I mentioned, is you can really get that rib to disappear underneath here, and you don't get that funny lump in the back here. And also, if you use a thin tying thread like the one I'm using here, which is from Vises, it's let me just have a look. It's a gel spun thread from Vises, 30 denier, so it's also very strong, and it leaves you with a really clean finish to fly. So that's why I like it so much. Time to cut off this flash fiber, the sculpting flash fiber. And the way to do that is to kind of measure. I want it just about the length, or I want it to be cut off where the eyes are. So look at it from above and kind of pull this up and trim it in an angle, which gives you this cool looking haircut, you could say, like that. Let's get a whip finish on that. So annoying with the cameras, I'm really sorry about that. I'm glad I noticed it before tying this fly all the way to the end. That would mean I had to start this all over. It is already a long one. So whip finish is done, cut off the thread. Now all that's left to do is to scruff this fly up a little bit. Let's get some of that fluorescent dubbing out. This noise, this here, I could recognize that noise from 10 meters away and know somebody was tying a fly. Don't be scared here, be mean to it. Really scruff up that dubbing. And also get out some of these fibers or hairs from that false haggle with craft fur. All that forwards. And here you can really see. That's why I don't want it. I don't want this to be longer than the longest ones, because it would just ruin the taper on the fly. And also you can see here you really want to tie this in very sparse, and that will give you a really nice and transparent fly in the water. So let's make this fly even more indestructible. So we can fish this one for days. And you know what, why don't you guys write me down in the comments where you would use this fly, and I'll pick a comment and I will ship you this fly, maybe a few more. So write me some comments, where would you fish this and what would you catch on it. Yeah, and I'll pick a winner for next week and ship this fly to you, and yeah, maybe a few more. That's it for today. Please remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you like this video, leave it with a thumbs up, because it really helps the YouTube algorithm, so we can grow this community and hopefully get even bigger and exchange not only rum and whiskey recommendations, but also fishing experiences or ideas and whatnot. That's what this channel is about. So do all of the things, and I will see you guys next week.